it seems there's a lot of confusion and even frustration around people are saying around seeing and then a fall back into personhood. So I saw it, I got it for 2 weeks, and then it just went away. As if that's a problem. And that's where I think the frustration comes in. You know, when you watch a movie or a TV show and you're into it, and you look down and maybe your hands are clenched because it's some dramatic scene, and then you realize that you really got into it, you don't get frustrated. You don't try to not do that again. It just actually means that it's a really good story, and it makes that story, that show, that book interesting. And you might say, well, this isn't a book, this is my life, and it feels so real. But also I'd use the same argument. I mean, that's what makes it interesting, is that this story feels real. The story of Noel living in the world, having a life, feels incredibly real. It's, one might argue, it's the default setting of personhood, of apparent personhood, I should say, of this a default setting of this cosmic game of hide and seek, where for so long these patterns, these programs have been running that default back to the hide part, and then the seeking starts up again. And that's no bigger explanation for what's actually going on here. No idea. But you could look at it that way. Each time, as many times as you can in the day, there are opportunities to find the space of being, to, I want to say, return or pause. I've talked before about these tattoos that I got on my wrists a while ago as signposts when cruising around in the world. By the way, I'm not suggesting that you get tattoos. This is just a story. Or get them, I don't care. But anyway, I got them so that running around the world and the mind gets busy, that I would look at them and as a reminder to pause. And that was useful. It was definitely useful. But you don't need to get tattoos to do that. If you're put on hold, if you're waiting in line, if you're sitting at home because you're not allowed to leave, they're all great opportunities to pause and return back to this, return and see what is, witness, experience this. Again, I'll try not to tell anybody what to do. There's always an attempt to be a description, not a prescription, but there gets a lot of feedback of like, oh, that thing that you said, I've been doing that, that's really helpful, so we will proceed. In your day, just keep looking for opportunities to pause. Look for opportunities to return back. And rest assured, whenever it happens, the mind might jump in and be like, nothing's happening. Why are we doing this? That's what the mind is going to do. If meditation feels good to do that, then, to find that space, then meditate. But you don't need to meditate for 20 minutes or an hour or 2 times a day or whatever. Do it however often. But you can have 1-second meditations of pausing and feeling and feeling that space of being. Go there as often as possible. I really enjoy these talks, I enjoy sessions, I enjoy answering questions, but the real space of being is felt. I mean, it's always there. It's never not there, but it's experienced and felt in this apparent in this apparent existence, in quiet. The space of being is felt in the space in between talking, questions, things happening, noises, thoughts. In some cases, thoughts will and may continue to arise. But this is what so many other speakers talk about when they talk about abiding in awareness, abide, or in earnestness. It's just, you can almost treat it like a muscle. Just go there, pause, pause, pause. None of this stuff will actually, sorry, none of this stuff will actually get you anywhere, but it's super peaceful. It can be. It's super peaceful. And then you don't actually need quiet to find that. Quiet doesn't mean lack of noise. Quiet is an energetic just peace that happens regardless of where the body is located. I meditate every morning because I like that space. I don't do it for any reason. But a couple of years ago, I used to meditate in the middle of the family room, like on the couch with kids running around and people doing a bunch of stuff, and if they were watching a movie with the movie on, because I felt that if peace could be found there, then it could be found pretty much anywhere. Didn't need a quiet room or a cave or a yoga deck up on the side of a mountain. Those things can be beautiful too. If you've got one, thumbs up. But peace is found everywhere. The space of being is never not present. It's never not around. It's yours to access whenever the thought arises. And you certainly don't need ink on your wrists to remind you of it. You can tie a string on your finger. You can do whatever it is that you want. You can identify points, activities during the day. I wouldn't be so strict about them. Don't say, oh darn it, I missed it. I missed my 11 o'clock. I missed my 11 o'clock moment of presence. Darn it, the day's ruined. Just anytime, actually, here's a great, anytime the mind is like, what's next? What are we doing? Use that as your reminder. Use that as your reminder. Go, take a breath, find the space of being, and just do that over and over and over again. I had a lovely conversation yesterday. Someone was asking, well, there's always these questions. What's it like for you? And it's not, there's always a concession in that, in the response to that type of question. The experience is that there's so much love for the space of being. There's so much love for what is and acceptance in the present moment. There's a natural tendency to want to seek it out and want to go there. It does not mean that the goal is to always be in that space and just staring out into nothing and, not changing clothes and not washing hair and, not going to work. The character of Noel continues in the play of life. But there are breaks as much as possible to find this space. And to even say find it means that it was somehow lost or that it's not there. But to recognize, to witness, to experience it as it is. And then the character is free to go do whatever the character needs to do. But the pause and pause and pause and return and return and return back to this is where peace is found. Go there. Go there as often as you can.